You're 16 years old, standing on a street corner, selling Italian ice for $1. 2 for 1, but only if you tell your friends. Most people walk past, some slow down, a few stop, and you start noticing patterns. The ones who stop hesitate. The ones who hesitate can be convinced. So you change how you talk. You slow down. You smile more. You lean in closer. You make it feel personal, like this offer was meant just for them. But here's the part nobody tells you. They're not buying the product. They're buying you. And suddenly, they're not buying ice. They're buying the feeling, the idea, the moment. By the end of the summer, you've made $20,000. And that's when it hits you. The product doesn't matter. It never did. What matters is whether someone believes you. And once they believe you, you can sell them almost anything. You try to do things the normal way. Dental school, first day. The dean stands up and says, "If you're here to get rich, you're in the wrong place." Everyone laughs. Everyone writes it down. But you don't. Because you're not here for stability. You're here for leverage. You don't want slow, you want fast. So you stand up and walk out. Next stop, sales, real sales, door-to-door meat and seafood. No office, no system, just you and rejection. You knock. Fresh cuts, half the price. Door shuts. You knock again. Last shipment. I've only got a few left. Door opens, you learn quickly. Facts don't sell, emotion does. You start experimenting, changing tone, changing pace, changing urgency. You notice something subtle. When people feel like they might miss out, they stop thinking clearly. They decide faster. They justify later. And slowly. You stop selling products. You start selling decisions. And it works. $100,000 a month. You feel like you've cracked something. Until everything breaks. Spoiled inventory. Late deliveries. No structure. No control. The business collapses. But something stays with you. A realization. A dangerous one. The product didn't matter. The business didn't matter. The system didn't matter. The only thing that mattered was whether someone said yes. And more importantly, how you got them there. You land a job on Wall Street. A real firm. Phones, screens, suits. This is where you expect things to be different. More sophisticated, more intelligent, more real. But something feels off. People speak confidently, but they don't know anything. Nobody knows where the market is going. Not the analysts, not the brokers, not even the veterans. So what are they doing? Selling certainty. Clients don't want probabilities. They don't want maybe. They want direction. They want reassurance. They want someone to tell them, "You're going to be okay." And brokers give them that. Not truth. Confidence. This is a strong buy. This is a long-term play. You don't want to miss this. And every time a client acts, the broker gets paid. Not when the client wins. Not when the investment grows. Only when the trade happens. That's when it clicks. This isn't investing. It's movement. It's volume. It's persuasion. And here's the part nobody tells you. The system doesn't reward accuracy. It rewards activity. If a broker is wrong, nothing happens. If a broker is silent, they don't get paid. So what do they choose? They choose to speak. They choose to push. They choose to sell. Then everything collapses. Black Monday. Markets crash. Phones go silent. Fear spreads. And just like that, you're out. But now you see the truth. This was never about predicting the market. It was about controlling behavior. And whoever controlled behavior controlled the money. That's when you find penny stocks. Small, unknown, unregulated. And this is where things get interesting. Because penny stocks don't work like normal stocks. They don't trade on major exchanges. They don't go through strict audits. They don't need to prove much of anything. Some of these companies barely exist. No revenue, no real product. Sometimes, not even a real office. But here's the real hook. None of that actually matters. Because they have one thing. A story. And on Wall Street, a good story is often more valuable than a good business. Then you see the number. 50% commission. That's when everything changes. This is where it gets dangerous. Because now, it's not just about selling, it's about incentive. If a normal broker makes 1%, this is 50 times bigger. Same call, same effort, completely different outcome. So you try it. You pick up the phone, you dial. Listen carefully. This company is about to break out. Big players are already moving in. You're early. He hesitates. I don't understand the company. And this is where most people make a mistake. They explain. They give more information. They try to convince logically. But you don't. Because explanation creates doubt. The more someone thinks, the less they buy. So you redirect. You don't need to understand the company. You need to understand the opportunity. Pause. Do you want to be early? Or do you want to regret it? And here's the trick. You're not selling a stock. You're selling a future. And that future feels urgent, limited, exclusive. That's the real sale. Not information, not logic, emotion, fear of missing out, greed, urgency. Okay, how much should I invest? $4,000, one call. And in that moment, you understand something bigger. This isn't sales. This is influence. And influence can be scaled. At first, it feels random, but it's not. It's a system. Clean, repeatable, scalable. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Step 1. Accumulate quietly. Before anyone else knows, you and your insiders buy shares. Cheap, invisible, no headlines, no hype, no attention, because attention comes later. Step 2. Build the illusion of demand. Phones start ringing, scripts get deployed. This is your chance. You're getting in early. This is the ground floor. But here's what's really happening. You're not informing people. You're synchronizing them. Hundreds of brokers, calling hundreds of investors, saying the same thing at the same time. And when enough people act at once, it starts to look real. Step 3. Create price movement. The stock goes up, not because the company improved, but because people are buying. And now something powerful happens. The price becomes proof. Look at the chart. It's already moving. New investors see the movement. They assume someone else knows something, and they follow. This is where the system feeds itself. Early buyers justify it. Late buyers chase it. And everyone believes they're early. Step 4. Trap liquidity. This part is invisible, but it's critical. When investors try to sell, phones don't get answered. Orders get delayed. Advice changes. Hold a little longer. It's about to go higher. Because the system needs time. Time for insiders to get out. Step 5. Exit completely, quietly, systematically, at the peak. And when the insiders are gone, there's nothing left holding the price up. Then it collapses, price crashes, liquidity disappears, buyers panic. And the people you convinced are left holding something no one wants. That's the system. A pump and dump. And here's the uncomfortable truth. It doesn't work because people are stupid. It works because people are human. They chase momentum. They trust confidence. They fear missing out. And the system is built to exploit all of that. Now you scale it. You build a firm, Stratton Oakmont. And this is where the system becomes dangerous. Because now, it's no longer one person selling. It's hundreds. You don't hire analysts. You hire closers. People who are hungry. People who don't question. People who need money. Because hungry people don't ask why. They ask how much. Then you train them, not on finance, not on companies, on psychology. Control the tone, control the pace, control the outcome. Never let silence exist, because silence creates doubt. Never answer directly, because answers invite questions. Always move forward, because hesitation kills the sale. This becomes a system inside the system, a factory of persuasion. The office becomes chaos. Phones ringing nonstop, voices overlapping, energy exploding. But it's not random. It's engineered. Top performers get rewarded. Big checks, recognition, status. Underperformers get cut. Immediately. Publicly. Fear and reward. That's what drives the machine. Money floods in, millions, then more. And as the money grows, so does the confidence. You evolve. Now it's IPOs, real markets, real investors. But the system doesn't change. It just gets bigger. Now strangers buy in, news spreads, momentum builds. And this is the final layer. People who were never called start buying anyway, because now it looks legitimate. And while everyone is entering, you're already exiting. Then things start breaking. At first, it's quiet. A few investors lose money. A few complaints come in. A few uncomfortable questions. But in a system like this, small cracks don't stay small. They spread. Investors lose everything. Retirements disappear. Savings vanish. And now the stories start. Not numbers, people. A teacher who trusted a voice on the phone. A retiree who thought he was being smart. A family that believed this was their chance. And when enough people lose at once, someone starts paying attention. Regulators notice patterns, too many spikes, too many collapses, too many complaints pointing to the same place. Inside the firm, things change too. What once felt like confidence starts to feel like pressure. What once felt like energy becomes chaos. Brokers fight over commissions, mistakes get louder, decisions get faster, and cracks appear internally. Some people start asking questions, not because they care, because they're afraid. Because deep down, they know this only works until it doesn't. And you're not managing it anymore. You're it. The investigation doesn't begin loudly. It begins quietly. A file here, a complaint there, a pattern forming in the background. Then it becomes something else. Wiretaps, recorded calls, bank records, every conversation, every transaction, every promise. All of it starts to connect. And then something worse happens. People start talking, not because they regret it, because they're scared. The same system that made them rich now turns on them. Friends become evidence. Colleagues become witnesses. Loyalty disappears. Self-preservation takes over. You try to stay ahead of it. Move money. Hide it. Send it offshore. But the system you built is now being used against you. Every pattern you created becomes proof. Every shortcut you took becomes a trail. And then one mistake connects everything. Too late. It's over. You're facing decades in prison, so you do what you do best. You sell information, names, deals. You cooperate. You negotiate. You reduce your sentence. 22 months. You write the story, not as a warning, as entertainment. The world watches. People laugh. People admire. People quote you. And somehow you win again. But the victims don't. They lose everything. And most of them never get it back. You never needed a real company. You never needed a real product. You never needed to be right. You just needed someone to believe you. And they did. Because in the end, you weren't investing. You weren't building wealth. You weren't playing the market. You were the market. And more importantly, you were the exit.